Oh, my friend, hello. If you're single and young right now, please don't rush into a relationship if you want to find somebody right now and listen to this message first because this message has the power to change the entire course of your future marriage, or your future relationship. This video is gonna be useful for all the people who feel unworthy just because someone rejected them. For all the people who think that they are gonna get married just because the time is clocking. For all the people who feel unlovable and seek attention. For all the victims who are pretending to be someone else just because they want their partner or their crush to like them. A lot of people nowadays rush into a relationship and they want to find a soft pillow for their insecurities and their weaknesses. They want to eliminate loneliness rather than becoming happy and multiply their happiness. And by doing so, they unconsciously ruin their own lives and lose themselves along the process, along the way. And the real paradox here is that the more desperate you are and the more obsessed you are with something, the more resistance you create and kinda the more it slips away from your hands. I found myself in the exact same situation when I was really desperate about a relationship, but every single time when I found somebody, I felt like they're not good enough. They weren't good enough, and I was always wanting someone better, something like, chasing this kind of perfection that doesn't exist in itself. The point here is that people rarely, if at all, find their love, their pure love, by looking for it intentionally. And I suggest to you another approach. This approach is based on harmony and peace of mind. Instead of looking for a soft pillow for your emotional insecurities and weaknesses, try to accept this loneliness, this pain, this discomfort of being alone, and turn this loneliness into solitude by exploring your new passions, making a career, going outside, hanging out with your friends, discovering who you are, reading high quality books, and simply building yourself to the point where you're able to commit to a serious, harmonious, and pure relationship based on love, consideration, compassion, and respect. Because you see, a lot of people, they want to achieve success, recognition, they want to make a career and become someone in this world, but at the same time, they are drifting, they are divided, they go to bars, to nightclubs, to places in order to find somebody without even any congruence between who they are and who they want to find, and between places where they go. And all of a sudden, they end up in a situation where they are absolutely different people from their partners, and they have arguments, conflicts in their relationship, and so they just commit to a relationship with a person who does not on the same page with them. So, and all of a sudden they start exchanging their own dreams, their own careers, passions, and themselves for just this silent agreement of mediocrity just to be rescued from loneliness. And later on, in one decade, they get divorced and find themselves like broken, weaker, and simply understand that they wasted one decade so much time by being in a relationship with a person who does not even qualify to be their dream partner. I truly think that the moment you start living your life, exploring your passions, opening up, let's say, your new business, or like exploring your hobbies, just living your life, socializing, interacting with people, you will find your not just a relationship, but you will find the pure love, your pure love, because you'll be free from the idea of finding somebody. You will not be so desperate, so obsessed, and so dependent. You find exactly the person who matches your vision, your lifestyle, your beliefs, your core values, simply because you find this person in the environment that matches your personality, your identity, who you are. You understand what I'm talking about? Especially now we are adults, and in our 20s, we're not supposed to be like to find somebody to pick up the job that we're gonna do for the rest of our lives and say, oh my god, this is like I did everything in my life, I'm ready to die. It would sound ridiculous, right? We're gonna suffer sometimes, go through challenges, and grow in our 20s, especially. And we shouldn't expect to always experience happiness, pleasure, and like, let me organize my life around some things, and then I'll say, oh my god, I accomplished everything I wanted, and now I'm ready to rest for the rest of my life. No, in my 20s, I shouldn't think about that so much. How to be in a relationship, how to find like a girl. Oh my god, no. At first, I need to mature as an individual to become emotionally independent. Then along the way, I will find someone who I deserve, right? Because a lot of people, they want to find a perfect partner, a perfect human being, like compassionate, generous, in a good body shape, with money, like intelligent, kind. But at the same time, they themselves do not qualify to get this partner because they may gossip, they are cruel, they are not kind, and they are lazy. Curse. If you want to find somebody who you're dreaming about, you gotta be the same type of a person. So in your 20s, just focus on developing your characters, your virtues, personal spiritual growth, because similar things they attract. And if you're not this kind of similar thing to what you're looking for, you're not gonna attract what you want. We gotta set aside to like to devote some time, let's say 1 year, ideal 2 years, to our own solitude. This time we're gonna be intentionally single. It's not forever, it is just for 1 year or 2 years. We gotta learn how to be alone and single, to feel our own pain, our own loneliness, silence, and tolerate it. To learn how to tolerate this pain, you may make acquaintanceship or friendship, hang out with your friends, communicate with people, and I won't be surprised if along the way, during these years, 1 or 2 years, you will find your pure love simply because you will let it go. And this kind of awareness that you build while being intentionally single, you are creating this gap between your emotional maturity and this kind of your desire to find somebody. You start understanding that I can wait, I can develop myself. It helps you understand the difference and becomes this kind of line in the sand that divides a healthy relationship and a toxic relationship. In one moment, there were like at some point I just felt this kind of feeling that I don't want to be in a relationship without feeling this pain fully, without having this experience in my life where I'm alone, where pain ends, true happiness begins. And I just more and more think about this concept of this divine timeline. This is such a great journey. Just you're being open for every interaction, communication, but you're not seeking that. You're just walking, chilling, enjoying your life, and you never know who it's gonna be, when it's gonna be, and you feel such an excitement, such a thrilling emotion. You are anticipating this moment. It's so great. You lose nothing by doing this, but you also have an opportunity to experience something new. Just to take this kind of experiment, I love this idea of the experiment. And I want to assure you and reassure you that at the right time, at the perfect moment, you will meet your soulmate. You're gonna live with for the rest of your life happily together, sharing similar same interests and hobbies, living in harmony, but then maybe doing the same business and traveling the whole world. You're gonna be so compatible because life brought you together. But you gotta be patient. You gotta just slow down and trust the process. So I ask you, do not settle for less, do not beg for attention, do not try to find somebody just to fill this void, just to fill this emptiness. You are so cool, you're so wonderful. and everything is gonna work perfectly in your favor. Just trust me. Our ancestors, they didn't have all these dating applications, all these endless possibilities, options, opportunities to find somebody in the internet, like through some services. They were struggling more with making the living, food, clothing, job opportunities, simply some basic needs. And ironically, they found their soulmates, their partners, just so organically and naturally, simply because they were so busy executing that they just found somebody along the way throughout their lives. All these endless possibilities, opportunities, a lot of options, they simply distract us. We lose ourselves trying to catch this kind of love in the air that but it's only slipping away from our hands simply because we try to run away from ourselves. Because there's the saying, like, do not look for death and love, they will find you on their own when the time comes. And this is exactly what I'm trying to highlight here. Such divine experiences, they cannot be forced, they cannot be scheduled. They just happen to you. Many people misunderstand the purpose and the real definition of a relationship and a marriage. And I understand this in this way. A relationship or a marriage is a covenant and alliance of the multiplication of happiness of two people who live in harmony with the same core values, with the similar beliefs, living similar ethos, and living by the same spirit. So for me, it's very serious. It's not just about your body, hugs, just cuddling. No, it's understanding this kind of spiritual alliance. And looking at our society nowadays, at some couples, I barely can say that people understand it in this way because people are staying in a relationship while being completely different, not compatible at all. Love, there is something more than just love. And if it was so simple, like just find a partner by this kind of based on this feeling of love, we would be all happy, right? But love is not enough. There is something more, something deeper, something higher.